Hello friends, my name is Jane and welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here and showing us love. We'll have a special video today. I'll be interviewing Mr. Chairman about his 11th anniversary since accident happened. By my side is none other than Brian, aka Mr. Chairman, aka my babe. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For producing this video and for being with me on this very special day. And yeah, I am ready to hear all the questions that you chose for me.
Maswali ni mengi.
Nitajibu yote.
Maswali ni nyingi ama maswali ni mengi?
Maswali ni mengi.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready.
How have you been?
I've been well. A few health challenges here and there. But overall, I think everything is going on smoothly.
Okay. So disclaimer, be real, be authentic, be emotional. I'm serious.
Be real, be authentic, be emotional.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first question is, how serious is your injury and where on your spine?
So I have what we call a C5, C7 spinal cord injury. And how serious it is, it makes me paralyzed from my armpits down. And what that means is that I don't have any sensation from my armpits, neither do I have any movement. So I can't move anything below that part of my body. So I don't have bowel movement, I don't have bladder control. I can't walk, obviously, and also it has affected my upper limbs. I can't stretch my fingers.
Okay.
So yeah, amongst very many things that we will keep on talking about as we go on. Okay,
the next question is, why do you celebrate this day?
I celebrate and commemorate this day because it is very special to me. It is the day people have conflicting ideas about whether you should celebrate the day that you got injured. But in my mind, I see as the day that I got a second chance, I got to live again, I survived. And again, even though I am on a wheelchair, I am still living. And my life has been very, though it has come with many challenges, but it has still been fulfilling. And that is what I want to commemorate and celebrate. The fact that I have a second chance at life and that I have been blessed with the blessing of family and a good support system. So that is what I celebrate.
Okay. So the next question, emotionally, how do you feel about this day?
In the beginning, it was quite tough to come to terms with the fact that I will probably never walk again. And this day was a reminder of how my body was broken and how my spirit was defeated during that time. And also the friends that I lost on that day of the accidents. In the beginning, I used to ask myself, what if I didn't go out that day? What if this and this happened? But these days I have come to terms with that, and I actually I don't feel any type of way about it. I just feel like it's another milestone I have reached, and it's something that I'm proud of, that I've made it this far.
Okay. Next question. Things that you had to relearn after the accident.
Of course, you have to relearn almost everything. The way you think, the way you relate with people, the way you relate with yourself, your self-image. I had to relearn so many things. So I don't know, you have said emotionally or overall?
Overall.
Overall. I had to relearn so many things, and most of that has come at an advantage because I feel like I have grown in a very significant way. I feel like I am more mature and I am more in tune with how the real world works. Right now, I know that it is very possible for a person to be okay 1 minute and the next they are requiring to be bathed, or they can't even go to the bathroom by themselves. So I have a new appreciation for life and for people, especially like you, my caregivers. So I think it has opened my eyes to not being too self-centered and realizing that the world, for life to happen the way it's supposed to happen, you need a community and people around you.
Nice. At what time did it click that your injury was serious?
I think it was gradual. In the beginning, I thought I had just dislocated my neck and that I would be okay in a few weeks. And then I thought, maybe after a few months I'll be walking with crutches. So it was until I came home, and I've told this story before. I came home, I got my smartphone. My mom bought me a smartphone on my birthday of that year. So a few months after the accident. And when she got that phone for me, I was able to Google my diagnosis, my injury, and that is when I realized that this thing is going to take a while for me to get over. Yeah, so it came on gradually, and the hardest thing or the saddest thing about it is that I had to deal with it all by myself. So I wish there was like support, maybe from the hospital, because even my parents, this was new for them. So we had to learn all these things from scratch and with very limited information.
Do you get flashbacks about this day?
Not really, because I don't remember so much from the day off. But what I feel like is just a friend of mine that lost his life that day. So the only emotions and feelings that I have from that specific day is, what if the roles were reversed? What if I was the one who didn't make it, and I didn't live to see 2025. I didn't live to watch the World Cup or to see the maandamano or Kabiuti. Yeah, yeah. So that is what makes me emotional. Like I am not special that it had to be me. So it humbles me by a lot and also makes me very grateful for life.
Okay. Most scary thing about this new existence?
The most scary thing about being in this condition is just knowing that your body is so vulnerable that you can wake up today and you are dealing with something new. Like maybe it's an infection, it might be constipation, it might be pneumonia. There's so many things that can affect you from nowhere. So the health part of it is what makes me scared, that my body is so vulnerable and there's very little I can do about it. I can do some things to prevent it, but ikiamua imekuja. So that is the most scariest thing. That I have a friend who broke his leg when they were doing physiotherapy. So imagine, so you are just going about your business, doing physio, and then your leg just breaks, and you can't even feel when it breaks. So you find out about it weeks later when it starts swelling.
Damn.
Yeah, so I worry about falling down and breaking something, eating something and having a bad stomachache, because that is how my body is. So the health part of it is what keeps me up at night.
Who broke the news to your extended family and your friends?
The news of the accident.
Yes.
So the way it happened was, I had gone out with a few friends. It was on a Friday night, and it was my first time going out like that. And then in the morning when we were coming back, we got the accident. So the people who rescued me and took me to hospital, I don't remember that conversation, but this is stories that I was told later. So at the hospital, they asked me for an emergency contact. So I gave out my friend's number at the time, whose name was Brian, like me. We used to go to university together. So when Brian was called, he called my cousin Sam. You've met Sam.
Yes.
So he called Sam. Sam was, I think at the time he was working in Olkalau. And then Sam called my parents. When my dad was given that call, he was in disbelief because he thought this guy was just sleeping. He went to his house to sleep last night. So my dad was shocked. He came to ask my cousin, what is this I'm hearing about this guy that he got involved in an accident? So there was a lot of misinformation in the beginning because it was being told at some point, people said that I had joined a gang and that we had been caught while we were going to rob people of their money and kidnapping people, that they found toy guns in the car or something like that. There was a lot of misinformation. Even after the accident, there were very many stories being spread about my death, that I had died. Some people truly believed that. So it was quite a sensation here in the village. But to answer your question, the information was, to my parents, that is how the information got to them.
What support system did you find most helpful?
The support system that has been most helpful and is still very helpful is my parents. They have been by my side since the beginning. Of course, other family members have chipped in and they have supported me in numerous ways. But the people who have carried the load, the heaviest load, have been my parents. And I'm very indebted to them for the work that they have done to get me here physically and also emotionally, because they have been the first people who have been talking to when I am having a hard time. I have not had that privilege of having friends who I can talk to or lean on, but my parents have been there to give me support in many ways than one. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
What barriers do you encounter in public spaces?
The obvious ones are inaccessibility. We have faced that together. You go to a place and it is there are a lot of stairs that offer you barriers to accessing places. So feeling excluded, those things like those make you feel excluded from engaging in just normal people activity. And also in the past, I used to be made uncomfortable by how people would stare at me. But these days, it doesn't affect me as much. Also, maybe the lack of accessibility, maybe in washrooms. Like you go to a hotel and you need to go and relieve yourself, but it is not accessible. So you have to either not eat or drink the way you would normally do, because you don't have somewhere to go and do your business. So yeah, things like those. And also, let's say maybe it's a restaurant. We have encountered this. You go and the tables are too low.
Yes.
That your wheelchair cannot go under. So like places we've gone.
Yeah.
And I have to sit so far from the table.
And so far from me.
So far from you. So it's the little things like those that make you feel a bit excluded.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like facing your parents after?
Wow. I don't know who asked me this before. Maybe I was talking about it, but the guilt still lingers, even now, 11 years later. Just seeing, carrying the responsibility of almost uprooting, it tears me up even right now. The responsibility of knowing that in many ways you uprooted your family and you disoriented things, and people had to really change to support you. The effort that it has taken for them. So that is something that is that guilt still haunts me. But at that time, it was very difficult at 19, having to face your parents while you have changed. You have played a role in changing your life that significantly. It was and still lingers.
Do you think
Uh-huh.
the guilt will go away someday?
I don't know. And I don't know if I want it to go away personally. I don't even know. Because it's something that I hold closely, and it's not all negative. I don't know if that can be accurate, that holding on to guilt is a positive thing, but it also keeps me grounded and reminds me that what really matters and who matters and who was there when it mattered. So I don't know, unconsciously maybe that is why I'm holding on to it, but I hope that, but it doesn't like get in the way of me having a relationship with them. I don't think it does.
Have you accepted and forgive yourself concerning what this accident brought?
Have I accepted and forgiven myself? I still carry with me that responsibility. And I know that if it wasn't for the choices that I made that day, I probably wouldn't be here. So what I have right now is the awareness that these are the consequences of my actions. And yes, I have accepted that I do have a disability, but I still have that awareness that if I didn't make that decision that day, probably I wouldn't be here. So as much as I have accepted myself, I still know that I'm responsible for those actions.
Okay. What was and still is your constant prayer about?
My constant prayer is that I don't allow the disability to shape me. People say that your disability shouldn't define you, but to some degree it does define me, and in a positive way, because owning up to my disability has enabled me to be an advocate and to speak out and to help many people out there. But I hope that it doesn't limit me, that I am still able to pursue my passions, even those that are not, people think that are not meant for disabled people. I still want to go on adventures, and I still want to not to feel like I'm deserving of things like family, children, and fruitful careers, and fun. I don't want to deprive myself of fun just because I think I do not deserve it because I have a disability.
First 3 accomplishments after recovery.
After recovery, in terms of disability,
Yeah.
I would say being able to get out of bed and start getting used to being on my wheelchair. That was a big achievement because I struggled to get myself out of bed. So that is one. And also the fact that I was able to feed myself. I guess that falls under independence, finding some independence. Yeah. Yeah, it all went, the progression was gradual, it was slow, but overall I would say the biggest thing has been independence, and also just self-belief. There was a point where I didn't believe in myself, I didn't trust myself, I didn't find myself worthy, but over time that has improved immensely. And I right now I feel it. I mean, it comes and goes sometimes, but usually I'm very confident in my skin, and that is something that has come slowly.
I forgot to ask, how was your relationship between you and your parents before and after the accident?
It has transformed greatly, and I feel like we have grown closer than before, because we weren't before the accident. Yeah, it was a normal parent-child relationship, but now, because of caregiving, because we were confronted by this very big thing. We had the lines between parent and child had to be blurred kidogo, and we had to see each other as almost even friends, because they were my real supporters, like I mentioned. So usually people are not able to go and have deep conversations with their parents about the things that they are going through, but we had to cross that line, and I think it has really improved for the better. And yeah, I am glad to call my parents my friends, because I know they consider me that as well.
Lesson learned in those 11 years.
The lesson learned in those 11 years is, wow, so many lessons.
Give us 3.
3 lessons. Okay. The lesson that I've learned is remember who matters. Remember who matters when it mattered, and also never take them for granted. The next thing, you might have all the support in the world, but the only one who is going to save you is yourself. The only one who is going to be responsible for any kind of success you have in your life is going to be yourself. No matter how much support you get, if you don't take that step, you're going to remain stuck and you will not move forward. The last lesson that I have learned is, for you to find acceptance from the world, you must first accept yourself. If it is love you're looking for, you need to have some level of love for yourself first, before you go on claiming, people don't love me, people don't accept me. Find that from yourself first.
And do you have something you can tell your peers?
My peers? I think I've spoken a lot about the issue, especially of disability, but if I was to add on that, be strong, advocate for yourself, speak your mind, don't fit into stereotypes, especially the negative ones, because stereotypes can be positive as well. Go out, have fun, find yourself a beautiful girlfriend, a handsome young man. Don't deprive yourself of connection. Don't deprive yourself of a good time. Adventure if you can, and always know that you are worthy of being here despite your disability.
How do you see your future will look like as a person with spinal cord injury?
I have ideas of what I want my future to look like. I want to one day marry this beautiful woman here, to one day have children together.
Amen.
That is good. That is top of my list. I feel like to achieve that and to have our home, that would be the thing that would make me feel most fulfilled. I want to continue creating content and helping people, creating awareness out there about disability and relationships like ours, because we might be one of the few people maybe you see here on the internet. But there are so many couples out there, and we've met a couple of them. Cindy, okay, we've not met
No.
them together, but you've met people who are in relationships like this. So people like us do exist, and I'm glad to be one of the few people who are sharing our stories. But I still want you guys to know that there are so many people out there. But I have lost my train of thought. What do I want? I want to keep on creating content to further my career as a content creator and an influencer, and also maybe a journalist. So yeah, there's some, but top of my list is for us to build a home together, for us to be financially stable, and to have a beautiful, successful life together. Yeah.
Maswali zimeishia hapo. Kuna parting shots.
Parting shot is, I'm looking forward to the next 10, 11 years, 20, 30 years. This is a day that I approach with a lot of gratitude and with a lot of love and fullness of heart. It doesn't make me sad. It doesn't make me have any regret. I also don't approach it with, it's not like I'm jumping up and down. It is balance. Yeah. It is a day of realization that I am a man who has been disabled for 11 years, and that is a long time. So I am aware of that too. But I hope this interview has opened some doors about how that time has been, and I hope, yeah, and I'm just glad that I have had such a wonderful producer for today's video. Those questions were really insightful, and I didn't help you to come up with them, and I didn't tell you to take any questions out. I wanted you to ask questions that you wanted to ask, and I feel like they have been really awesome. That is my parting shot.
And that marks the end of the video. Thank you for engaging with us. Please share, subscribe, comment, and like.
Yeah, and what do you guys think about Jane as an interviewer and producer of this video? So I'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh my God.